welcome to another episode of GNY Sports. I'm your host, Mike Brindisi. You can find me on all socials at Mike B. TV. That's right, GNY Sports. It's the third episode, a side quest of sorts. If you can always like and subscribe on our Good News York socials at Good News York and anywhere you listen to or watch podcasts. A lot to get into. It was a crazy week of football, but I think I need to kick the show off talking a little baseball. Now, as you're watching this is not live. In fact, what is today? Tuesday? It's Tuesday. So the Yankees are facing elimination tonight in the Bronx. That's right. They're facing off against the red-hot Blue Jays. And coming off, obviously, two games that they lost in Toronto, where, by the way, they were outscored 23-8. But this isn't a new thing. Toronto, the Yankees were in the driver's seat for the division beginning to barely the middle of the season. There was a sweep in the middle of the season. The Blue Jays swept the Yankees and never looked back. And it was right before the Yankees went on a couple of different 6-game losing streaks, I think it was. So look, the Blue Jays are 10-5 against the Yankees in the regular season this year. However, the Yankees are 4-2 at home against them. So it really needs to be electric in that stadium tonight. Here's some of the keys. We all know what's been going on, right? It's been a story of either the bats aren't awake or the bullpen's blowing it. Well, here's my keys to the game tonight. Rodon, he's got to keep Guerrero's power at bay, and he's got to get him into you got to force him into longer at bats. These 1-2 pitch at bats, especially with a guy like that, can have it. The bullpen's going to need to be razor sharp and protect any sort of lead. Hopefully the Yankees can get out ahead early. The bullpen, here's what I do love about the bullpen as of late. Bednar has given up 2 runs over the last 13 outings since that goes back to September 6th. So I feel like as far as our closer goes, we're good right now. Okay? Our setup, Devin Williams, 11 shutout innings as of late. But look, this is where we're at, Yankees fans, talking about having won a World Series since 2009. And Boone's been on a much longer leash than if the old man Steinbrenner was still alive. And Aaron Boone, look, he's polarizing. I love him for what he did in 2003. People ask me, or you hear people getting asked that are Yankees fans, what was your greatest Yankee moment? 2003 ALCS, he hits a walk-off in Game 7. I remember it came back from commercial, and I'm thinking, who's this guy? What is Torrey doing? And he just hits one out, and they beat the Red Sox. I mean, it was incredible. That's my favorite moment. And it's fine to question him. But he's on a longer leash than most managers would be, and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. But either way, the Yankees have their backs against the wall tonight in New York, and sometimes I feel like that is what they are best at. So we'll see what happens. By the time you're watching this, we'll know. Moving on completely. Enough of baseball. I want to get to football. I have so much to talk about. I want to go back to what feels like about 4 years ago now. The Thursday night game versus the Rams and the 49ers. First of all, fuck you, Rams, because I picked and shame on me too. I picked the Rams to win in both of my in my last man survivor pools, and I picked them as my 16 in both of my confidence pools. And shame on me, because if there's one thing I should have known and that you should all learn is that never pick division games as your highest for survivor or as your highest confidence points in those pools. Anytime you play a divisional opponent, you have a better chance to win than most games. It's just the way it works. Why did I pick the Rams? The obvious reason. I talked 2 episodes ago. I talked about how not only are injuries ramping up in the NFL, but the 49ers are the face, the face on the milk carton, man. They have more injuries than any other team in the NFL, although the Ravens seem to be creeping up on that. But this has been a problem for years. It's not just this season. So I thought, look, I don't like to use injuries as an excuse. People that say, well, they would have won if they had this guy, and this guy in. Well, every team is banged up, and you're always going to be missing key players. The Niners, they were pretty depleted. I mean, I think the water boy was playing left tackle. Like, it wasn't great. The coaching staff showed me, Kyle Shanahan in particular showed me why he's one of the best coaches in the league. I don't know if I've said it on here, but I have a friend who's a 49ers fan. And my only complaint about Shanahan is I feel like the league and Niners fans have put him on this pedestal because of his father. He's a great offensive mind. What he did in Washington, what he's done in San Francisco, it's incredible. But he's also made a lot of questionable moves. I thought maybe they were putting him up on a pedestal a little too soon or too much. But let me tell you something, man. For them to play against the Rams in Los Angeles, by the way, with also more fans than the home team, which is wild to me, but that's the market. That's what you get with markets like Los Angeles and Miami. People got better things to do. It's not a diehard thing like the Packers or the Bills, where that's all they got, right? So for them to march into L.A., with like literally limping in, and not only win the game, but to do it with Mac Jones, who I owe Mac Jones an apology. Not that he doesn't even know I exist, but it's going to make me feel better. It's about me healing. He came across to me as not somebody who's tough, who does not. He didn't come across to me as someone who's got grit. He didn't come across to me as someone that could really be a field general and take charge of an offense and manage a game. And that was proven wrong last Thursday. Mac Jones was sharp. He was decisive. He was accurate. And he, more than any of it, was tough as nails, man. I remember at one point he was genuinely limping and his shoulder pad was hanging out and his helmet's on crooked. It was unbelievable. And he never left. He never went to the sideline. He never left the game. And he definitely didn't single-handedly win the game, but he was a huge, huge reason for that. And so this is a shout-out to Mac Jones. You are tough. You are a very good quarterback. You are definitely the best backup quarterback in the league, off the top of my head at least. And a shout-out to Kyle Shanahan, Robert Saleh, and anyone else on that coaching staff who took a team who was not even limping. They were crawling into that game and just winning it decisively. And by the way, the Niners are now 3-0 in the division. They've beat everybody in that division. It's incredible. So that's huge. One thing about the Rams, and you want to talk about coaching, Sean McVay's another guy that gets propped up. I think he was also in Washington with Shanahan, all those guys that came from there. But he also won a Super Bowl. He's kind of earned that to be up on that pedestal. But there's another reason why I think he belongs there. And after the game, we all know how the game ended against the Niners. It was 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. And they went old school. Let's just run it up the middle with Kyron Williams, and it failed miserably. The first thing he said at the press conference, and it wasn't coach speak. You could tell it was genuine. He's like, I'm pissed off at myself. I put my team in that position to lose, and we lost because of me. Now, whether that's true or not, that's what a leader does. And two really great, well-coached teams. As far as that play goes, I bitched last week about how when trick plays happen, everybody's like, that was awesome when it works, but when it doesn't, it's like, fire them. Why did they call that? So it's kind of the same thing. If that had worked, we wouldn't be talking about it. But at the same time, man, and it's the Josh Allen effect that I talked about. When you have a player like Matt Stafford or Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and you have 4th and short, and especially when it's to win the game, you want that ball in their hands to make they should be the last person touching that ball before it's distributed to whatever it is, running back, tight end, wide receiver. Because with Josh Allen and Matt Stafford, those are guys that the play is never over until the whistle blows or the clock runs out. They extend plays. I mean, I saw some crazy stat going into the game where Matt Stafford was he's got 40 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter, which is insane. And almost did 41, almost had it. But I just think Matt Stafford should have had that ball in his hands. And he should have had a chance to make a decision on how that play was going to end. There were many more options for plays that they could have called. It was kind of mind-boggling. You want to talk about deflating the whole stadium, you could feel it. But a great game. 49ers 3-0 in the division. And now the LA Rams are 0-1. But it's a tight division between those two and the Seahawks, by the way. So no surprise there. Moving on, a couple things I want to mention. There were 2 octopuses this past week. I know what you're thinking. Fucking what? Yes, octopuses. For those of you that don't know, an octopus is when a player scores a touchdown and then the team goes for a 2-point conversion and they score that touchdown. Or that 2-point conversion. Get it? 6 points for the touchdown, 2 for the 2-point. That's 8 legs. Octopus. So I was all excited because not only did that happen once on Sunday, it happened twice. It was Emeka Egbuka from the Bucks against Seattle. Did it? He got the touchdown pass and then the pass for the 2-point. But also Jonathan Taylor that same day against Las Vegas Rams, and those were 2 rushes. But then I started to look at this list because I thought, oh my God, this must be like the Triple Crown in baseball, right? It probably happens every couple decades. Dude, an octopus has happened every single year since it's been on record, which it goes back to 1994. So maybe some of you who know a little bit more than me can tell me why it only goes back to 94. Maybe I feel like there were always 2-point conversions, but who knows? I could be wrong. Either way, every single year there's at least one octopus, if not multiple. And that got me thinking too. I think we need a name for if you get a touchdown and you kick the extra point, which that in itself is rare because that would mean the kicker would have to get a touchdown, or it would mean whoever got the touchdown needs to also kick. Maybe the kicker's injured. But either way, we don't have a name for that. I looked it up. So in case it happens, NFL, here's my pitch. I think you call it 6-7. Yeah, I did it. Sorry. That's what the kids are doing. But it makes sense, right? 6-7. 6 points for the touchdown. Extra point is 7. 6-7. I don't know. That's my pitch. But it was cool. 2 octopuses. You got to love that. All right. Last but not least. I should say there's 2 things here. The first thing I want to get to is the Bills game itself. All right. The Bills game. Look, I knew coming into this game in week 5 that the Patriots not only had a chance to win, but I just had this feeling it was going to happen. Why? Well, if you remember, I had said before the season started, and I feel like I'm on an island, and I'm going to pat myself on the back again, because all of my friends that are Bills fans or any other NFL fans I talk to gave me this look like, what? When I said, I think the Patriots could not only, you know what, just watch the clip. This was September 3rd, I believe. This may surprise you. I have the New England Patriots, who I have coming in second, obviously, in the AFC East. People are saying, I think they're taking a step in the right direction, but they're not there yet. I say bullshit. They're going to win the wild card? Oh, I'm going to get shit for this. I think they challenge the Bills for the division. I really, really do. Okay. I called it then, and I've said it since then. What the Patriots did in the offseason is they added Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel, I have no idea why the hell he was ever let go in Tennessee. That's insane to me alone. Second of all, he's back to the organization where he won multiple Super Bowls. It just makes complete sense. He brings in Josh McDaniels, who is horrible at any other thing that he does except for when he's the OC in New England. And he's got a stud quarterback in Drake May, who I knew. And another thing I called out, pat on the back. I said Drake May was one of my breakout players in his second year. And it was obvious to me. And you hear the comps of Josh Allen, and especially now after that game. So you mix that with the offseason moves they made. They signed a lot of great defensive free agents. And they brought in Stefon Diggs, who lit it up. We'll talk about that in a second. And so I knew that not only were the Patriots possibly going to win that game, but they probably were going to win that game for multiple reasons. One, it's a division game. As I said earlier, any divisional team, no matter how good or bad they are, or how bad they are, can beat another divisional opponent, no matter how good they are, at any time, any week. Second of all, no team is going 17-0. I know, the 72 Dolphins, right? Or the Pats, who lost in the Super Bowl. They went 17-1 or 18-1, whatever it was. It's not. It's especially in today's NFL. It's going to be very rare if that ever happens again. And the Bills, you'd be out of your mind if you thought they were going to run the table this year, even with the schedule as easy as it is. They're going to find losses somewhere, so why not against a divisional opponent? You got Stefon Diggs coming in, Mac Hollins, who he was a non-factor, but so you got a little bit of a revenge game there. And someone I forgot, old Dougie Marrone. Yeah, he was there too. I didn't know he was an offensive line coach, so he wanted revenge, which makes no sense because he left in the middle of the night like those Mayflower trucks did in what was it, Baltimore. Decades and decades ago. He pieced out, and that was the best thing he could have done because couldn't stand him. He's gutless. But anyway, so they had a lot to come in and prove that, hey, you know, we're not just a doormat, and we've got guys here that used to play on that team, and we want to beat your ass. And guess what? They did. They absolutely did. Because what did they do? Exactly what I talked about last week, which was, for some reason, Brandon Beane, who I love, him and Coach McDermott have not put a ton of value on the wide receiver position. The Diggs trade was like the big move, but it's been a lot of patchwork with Trent Sherfields and Isaiah McKenzie's and John Brown's and bringing back Cole Beasley, and that's fine. Everybody eats. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. But when you look at this team, it's the same story for the last few seasons. They don't have an X receiver. Now, you don't need an X receiver. The Patriots won Super Bowls without a true X receiver, you could argue. But it's beyond just an X receiver. We don't have guys that can get open downfield. That is why every play, Josh Allen is bootlegging and extending the play so his guys can get open and come back to the ball or go deeper, whatever. They don't have the horses for that, right? Their pass game is a lot fucking annoying, but it's behind the line of scrimmage in the flat. Or they're going to run orbit motions and end arounds, and maybe they're going to hit the middle of the field, the short to intermediate passing game. Well, guess what? The Patriots took away the run game. The run game was not really a factor at all. And what did it do? Exactly what I said last week, which is you take away that run game, there goes your second and third and shorts and fourth and shorts, and now you've got to go downfield. Allen forcing the ball to Keon Coleman on a couple plays. Kincaid was amazing. He threw an interception. You know, it's not a hard strategy to figure out how to beat the Bills right now. And by the way, and again, I don't use injuries as excuses, but they were banged up bad in the secondary. So it's a loss. It makes it interesting. It's exactly what I predicted, which is the Patriots and Bills. Patriots not only could go to the playoffs, they could take the division. At least, in the very least, they're already making it a competition. I'm not worried about it. It's week 5. If any of you think the sky is falling, well, then you're a Bills fan because that's what we do. But you've got to look at it. It's a divisional game, all right? You dropped one, all right? Now that monkey's off your back. We got a loss out of the way. We got to focus on getting healthy and working on figuring out what to do on offense when the run game can't get going, or make sure we always get the run game going. One thing I will say, they gave Cook a shit ton of carries a couple games ago against the Saints, almost too many. They did mix in, Joe Brady did mix in Ty Johnson and Ray Davis. So, but again, none of it worked. So, I mean, it is what it is. But so I don't have a problem with them losing. Yes, I hate that they lost. I'm pissed, especially to the Patriots. I have no problem, though, because I know it's week 5. Here's what I do have a problem with, and I'm calling you out. El Presidente, Stool Presidente from Barstool. Bruh, I wake up Monday morning, okay? It was a Sunday night football game between the Bills and the Patriots, and one of the first things I see is his ugly mug on the screen doing what he does, clickbait. He likes to enrage people, and he's very good at it. But he knows sports, I thought, or I think. Dude, you would have thought that the Buffalo Bills just lost the division and Josh Allen retired and the Patriots won the Super Bowl. So here's the first video. Listen to this ridiculous reaction.
We haven't had one of these streams. We haven't had one of these post-game press conferences in a long time. Ever since Brady and Belichick and the dynasty went away and our 6 rings, people have been kicking us. They've been beating us up. They've been getting their shots in. They're still getting their shots in on Belichick in college. Well, guess what? It's a new day. We all just saw that. The Bills have run this decision, and I like Josh Allen. I like him. You know what they've got to show for the last decade? Bupkis, 0. They haven't won anything. Yeah, they won the East, but they won nothing, and we've waited, and we've rebuilt. And what we saw tonight, Drake May outplayed Josh Allen. Both teams made mistakes. Drake May was the better quarterback, the best player on the field. The Bills, you've had it for a decade, you got nothing. And now the beast, the dynasty has rebirthed. We've been waiting. I said before the game, watch out. It's the first time in 10 years I'm like, I think we can go in and beat this team. I think we're a real team. The Bills, you didn't capitalize. And your little brother, I pat you on the head. Your little brother, I still have the 6 rings. You still have 0. You have 0. You had your chance. You blew it. Now, the best quarterback in the division may be back in New England. We just went into your house, kicked your brains in. You're going to come back here. This team should be 4-1 if Stevenson had fumbled 9 times. I'm telling you, the dynasty is back on. The Bills had their chance. They blew it. I'm worried about Kansas City. Kansas City's never beaten us in the playoffs. This team is back. Drake May is a superstar. The Patriots dynasty, get used to his face. You had a decade off without Patriot football. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Okay. Fine. Funny. Here's where I have a couple problems, Dave Portnoy. So you claimed Drake May outplayed Allen. How did Drake May outplay Allen? Here's Allen's numbers in that game. Allen, 22 for 31, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, 53 yards rushing, 1 interception, and a 103.3 passer rating. Okay, that's decent game. What did Drake May do? 22 for 30, 273 yards, 20 more yards, 0 touchdowns, a 101 rating, and only 12 yards rushing. How did he outplay him? I'm pausing for your answer. Here's another thing I have a problem with. It's been 10 years. We've been building. Dave Portnoy, don't you dare try to play this woe is me, the Patriots and the Patriots fans. We're the lovable losers. We need to return to glory. 10 years, my ass. 10 years ago was 2015. It's 2025, moron. You lost the AFC Championship in 2015. In 2016, you won the Super Bowl. In 2017, you lost the Super Bowl. In 2018, you won the Super Bowl again. In 2019, you lost the wild card. In 21, you lost the wild card to us. And then the last 3 years, 22 through 25, zilch. So if you want to cry a river that you haven't done shit in 3 years, that's fine. But don't give me that bullshit that it's been 10 years and now it's our turn. Now, if that wasn't enough, here he pops up later that day and the next day on Monday afternoon, which I thought was going to be an apology.
Listen, I was super excited about that win. There's no need to pile on the good people of Buffalo. I like the good people of Buffalo. Everyone knows that. And I can't imagine what it would be like to be a Buffalo Bills fan right now, watching that game, knowing that your window has closed again, right on your hands. 4 falls of Buffalo. all over again. You got this great team, this quarterback. You've been so close, and you just haven't gotten it done. And now you got to look at us. Now you got to look at a revamped Patriot team that knows what it is to win Super Bowls. Great young quarterback who outplayed your guy. Great coach, Vrabel. And knowing that your time's over. So I'm appalled. I shouldn't have rubbed that in. I like the good people of Buffalo. Little brother, I'm sorry. I was excited.
Okay. First of all, little brother, kiss my ass, dude. We were not your little brother. We'll never be your little brother. And if we had the chance to be your little brother, I'd rather drag my balls through 10 miles of glass. So enough with that condescending bullshit. Window closed? How is the window, as long as Josh Allen is under center and plays for the Buffalo Bills, that window is never closed. You're right. We haven't won shit. We've won the division. That's fine. But don't act like we're this... it's all over because the Patriots are back. The Patriots are back. In fact, I'm terrified because they've got probably the most cap room in the league. And guess what's going to happen now? This is what we should be scared about as Bills fans. When you make a statement like you made on national television, and people are starting to see the leaf turning in New England, well, guess what's going to happen in the offseason? People are going to want to come there who are free agents. And you're going to start drafting and building around Drake May and the pieces that you already have. So they are building a bully in New England, and they're going to be a problem. But don't you dare tell me that the window is closed. Because let me tell you something. If the window's closed in Buffalo, does that mean that because the Jags beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football, does that mean the, I don't know, Chiefs dynasty's over and the Jags are now kings of the AFC or even the AFC South? It is such a knee-jerk, ridiculous reaction. You sound like a fool. I think you're a little too big for your britches. So, and then lastly, what I want to talk about is this Stefon Diggs bullshit. They interviewed him before the game, during the game, after the game. I get it. It's media. We've got to follow storylines, create narratives, follow narratives. That's fine. But it's, Diggs gave this like whole phony, like, I just got nothing but love. This is the guy that tore a locker room apart that didn't need to and forced a trade, said he wanted to be traded. And Bean got some pretty good value from him and then used that to pick a backup defensive lineman that we rotate. But anyway, they got a second-round pick for him, and he was off. And here I am talking about how we have nobody who can get open downfield. Thanks, Diggs. So just like Portnoy trying to play the victim here, I'm tired of this phony, like, I got nothing but love for those guys that I trash-talked and created an entire scene during the season for. But this whole, like, I'm back with a chip on my shoulder because I was wronged, it's phony. You're phony. You're a great wide receiver, and goddamn do I wish you were still in Buffalo. But the whole, like, woe is me and look at me now, I'm such a leader act, most of us see right through it. And with that, that is another episode of GNY Sports. I'm your host, Mike Brindisi. We record every week, release the episode on Wednesday or Thursday. You can listen and watch all episodes of GNY Sports where Good News York is located on all our socials and podcast platforms at Good News York. You can find our Good News York episodes as well as GNY Sports. Follow me on all socials at Mike B TV, and we will see you next week. Peace.